Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our sixth webinar of the year entitled Plan Your Legacy, Investing for Your Child's Future. John Garcia po, Business Development Head and Market Education OIC of the Philippine Stock Exchange, your host and moderator this afternoon. Napaka-timely ng ating webinar, no? Ng ating topic. Kasi kaka-start pa lang ng school year, so karamihan sa inyo medyo fresh pa mula sa gastos ng tuition. So, paano ba natin mas mapaghahandaan ang mga mahaba-haba pa, lalo na yung mga maliliit pa ang mga anak, ang mga mahaba-haba pa at marami-rami pang gastusin when it comes to our children's future. So in a few minutes, pag-usapan natin kung bakit nga ba mahalagang mag-invest para sa inyong mga anak at kung paano nyo to pwedeng simulan. So dahil mga magulang ang nasa webinar na ito, we have invited credible speakers who are active investors or seasoned market professionals. And of course, at the same time, mga magulang din sila. So ang una nating speaker, siya ay investing since 2013. So ibabahagi niya ang kanyang mga real-life experiences at dividend investing strategies. Joining him is a seasoned stock market professional from one of PSE's accredited stock brokerage firms. Tatalakayin naman niya kung paano masisecure ang financial future ng inyong mga anak. So, maraming mga financial products na pwede kayong pagpilian tulad ng mga dividend-paying stocks. So, malalaman nyo kung paano kayo makakapag-invest. Ipapakita niya rin kung paano nyo ma-access ang mga financial products na to sa kanilang online at mobile trading app. So very very interesting ang ating discussion ngayong hapon, kaya wag po kayong bibitiw. Samahan niyo kami in the next hour. Gawin nating interactive ang session. Huwag kayong mahiyang magtanong. No? Meron po tayong Q&A box para sa mga Zoom viewers natin. You can type your questions in our Q&A box. Para naman sa ating Facebook Live viewers, you can type your questions in the comment section. Before we get started, here are a few reminders. This webinar is recorded. Only the speakers and their presentations will be visible throughout this session. Ensure that your internet connectivity is stable and refrain from opening multiple browsers or downloading any programs to avoid disruptions during this learning session. Your microphones are disabled. However, this should not affect your ability to listen to our speakers. Please remember to check the volume control of your device. Like I said earlier, we enjoin everyone to actively participate during the live Q&A segments. Participants in Zoom may type their question in the Q&A box, while Facebook live stream viewers may type their questions in the comment section anytime during the webinar. Just a short disclaimer, this webinar is for educational and informational purposes only. This should not be construed as a professional, financial, or investment advice or recommendation from the PSE or our guest resource speakers. Before we get started, let's have a short survey para naman lalo natin makilala ang mga manonood natin ngayong hapon. Saka para ma-practice na rin kayo sa pakikipag-interact sa atin. So, simulan na natin. 3 question lang naman. For our first poll question, ano ang pangunahing dahilan kung bakit ka nag-i-invest or gusto mong mag-invest para sa iyong mga anak? So, pipili tayo rito. Pambayad ng matrikula at iba pang gastusin sa kolehiyo. Pambayad sakaling magkaroon sila ng malubhang sakit. Pangpuhunan sa sarili nilang negosyo or investment. Pamana para sa kanila. Or para turuan sila at an early age sa kahalagahan ng pag-i-invest. So, yung mga Zoom participants natin, pili lang po from the choices and click submit. For our Facebook live stream viewers, para mas madali, either A, B, C, D, or E. Na lang ang inyong i-type sa comment section. All right. Let's give them some time to respond. Medyo marami tayong attendees this afternoon. Napaka-interesting kasi ng ating topic. Si Etcheng Ovlak or Calvo sa Facebook, all of the above daw ang kanyang dahilan. Wow, talagang napakahuwarang magulang. Napakabuti ni Cheng. All right, let's see the responses. Okay, 48% ng ating respondents or participants in Zoom nag-i-invest daw para turuan ang kanilang mga anak sa kahalagahan ng pag-i-invest. Wow, very good. 29% naman ang nagsabi ng pambayad ng matrikula or panggastos sa college, gastusin sa college, yung college fund. Mahal magpaaral sa college. 13% para sa sarili nilang negosyo or investment ng mga anak nila. 9% naman ang nagsabi pamana para sa mga anak at 1% naman sakali lang. Wag naman po sana magkaroon sila ng malubhang sakit. All right, next poll question. Ano ang pinakamalaking hadlang sa pagkakaroon ng investment portfolio para sa iyong mga anak? Una, may mga pinagkakagastusan na kasing mga ibang bagay, no? Nagpapaaral ng kapatid or pamangkin or nagpapatayo ng bahay, etc. Kaya, kumbaga, marami ng ibang priorities kaya hindi makapag-start ng investment portfolio para sa mga anak. Or marami pang kailangang bayarang utang. Oh, this is a reality for everyone, ano? Or nagbibigay pa ng tulong sa mga magulang, no? A typical Filipino culture or Asian culture, I would say. Inuuna ang mga pag-iipon para sa emergency fund. Okay, so just respond A, B, C, or D para sa ating Facebook live stream viewers, and sa Zoom naman, select and submit lang. All right? Okay, we're still getting responses in. Let's give them a few more seconds. Okay. Okay, let's close the poll and share the results with everyone. 52% ng ating mga Zoom attendees ang sinabi nila ay may mga iba pang mga pinagkakagastusan. While 25% inuuna ang pag-iipon para sa emergency fund, which is of course very important. So ipon muna bago mag-invest. 14% naman may mga kailangan bayarang utang. And 9% nagbibigay pa ng tulong sa mga magulang. Yung mga nanonood naman natin sa Facebook, ang mga response nila ay A. So may mga iba pang pinagkakagastusan. Okay, for our third and final poll question today. Ito, madali lang, A or B. Alin ang mas gusto mo? Magbukas ng Entrust for or ITF account para sa investment na nakalaan sa iyong anak? Or magbukas ng pangalawang account na nakapangalan sa iyo pero ang investment ay para sa iyong anak? Okay, so sa hindi nakakaalam ng kung ano yung Entrust for or ITF, i-explain yan sa atin ng ating guest speaker later. Alright, napaka-active ng ating mga participants, no? Ang mabilis pumapasok ang mga sagot sa poll survey. Okay, let's close the poll and share the results with everyone. 62% ay gustong magbukas ng ITF account para sa kanilang mga anak. While 38% naman ang nagsasabi na magbubukas na lang sila ng pangalawa nilang account na sa kanila na pa rin nakapangalan at yung investment sa account na yon, sa pangalawang account na yon ay para sa kanilang mga anak. O ito na naman si Etcheng sa Facebook. A and B daw. Wow, ang daming pang-invest. Meron ng pangalawang account, may ITF pa. Sana all, sir. All right. As of now, let's check how many live attendees we have both on Zoom and Facebook. Hey, over 200 are joining us live this afternoon. So thank you so much to all parents who chose to invest their afternoon with us. So sana mas dumami pa ang ating mga attendees. Ako, napaka-interesting at relevant ng ating topic for today. Without further ado, kilalanin natin ang ating mga bisita ngayong hapon. Our first speaker has a unique and inspiring journey in the world of Philippine stock investing. Napakatalino po ni Kuya John. He was a high school valedictorian and also graduated cum laude from the De La Salle University with a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science degree. So driven by a passion to teach, he uses his YouTube channel, which he started, I think, only in 2023, to help his fellow Pinoys avoid the same mistakes when it comes to investing and prepare for the best future they can achieve. Outside of work, si Kuya John is also a loving father to his son. So let's Welcome si Kuya John later, but also joining Kuya John, oh my gosh, this is a John afternoon. So is the co-founder and CEO of Dragonfly Securities. He is a University of Chicago Booth School of Business graduate with over 20 years of financial markets experience. So let's welcome our two guests this afternoon, si Kuya John Tan and si John Lim. Good afternoon,
Hello.
guys.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Thanks for attending.
Okay, so siguro mamaya sa ating Q&A segment para hindi ako mahirapan, I will be addressing you sa inyong mga initials and you may also address me using my initials. So si Kuya John, I'll call him JT. At si John Lim, I'll call him JL. So parang tayong mga homies na nagkikwentuhan mamaya. Okay, so mauuna mag-present sa atin si JT followed by JL. All right, Kuya John, the floor is yours. Take it away.
All right.
Thank you po.
Let me share. Let me share first.
Okay. Wait ko lang po yung
Here you
PowerPoint.
go.
Ayan, no? So, the next slide ko. Outline po muna, no, para alam niyo kung ano yung pag-uusapan or i-discuss ko po, no, sa inyo. So, of course, you always start with why, no? So, why invest in stocks for your kids? And this is very important kasi hindi lang po pera ang reason kaya tayo mag-invest sa stocks, and I will tell you kung ano pa yung ibang reasons, no? And of course, hindi namin kayo iiwanan na, okay, invest in stocks, pero wala ka namang framework na susundan. Dapat meron kang framework na susundan when you start investing in stocks, at yun ang ipepresent namin sa inyo with dividend investing. Kasi matagal na kami nag-uusap din, no? Nag-sharing kami ni John Lin. And we find, no, nag-agree kami pareho na for retail investors, mga Filipino, no, average Filipino like you and me, dividend investing is the best, no? At i-explain po namin sa inyo later bakit siya ang the best para sa inyo at bakit siya mag-fit, no, sa investment strategy po ninyo, no? And next slide ko lang po. Well, anyways, ipapresent ko lang po, no? My child, the name of my child is Tonton, and he has Down syndrome, so special child po siya. And so meron siyang learning disability, no? And he is the love of my life. And kasi his mom passed away, no, noong 2020. And sorry, mali yung na-type ko po dito, no? And so, alam niyo po, no? Doon pa sa hindi pa po parent, no? Sometimes akala ninyo you understand what is love, but wait until you become a parent, then you will really understand something beyond pa na doon sa nararamdaman nyo ngayon. When you become a parent, lahat gagawin mo para sa anak mo, no? Minsan, no, pagod ka na stress ka na, pero hindi mo nararamdaman yung pagod mo. Every morning, very, very passionate ka na pumapasok sa trabaho, nakitiis mo lahat ng bagay kasi mahal mo ang anak mo, di ba? So, magiging part na rin po, no, na reason na bakit kailangan po magtiyaga at mag-aaral pa kayo ng something new ngayon, stock investing, no? Ngayong time na ito. Okay, so the reason, isang malaking reason bakit kailangan nyo mag-invest sa stocks is because it's accessible. No? Sa panahon po natin ngayon, 2024, madali na po magbukas ng account, no, with brokers like Dragonfly. And of course, yung stigma po na investing in stocks is sugal, hindi po siya totoo. If you have the right framework, if you have the right mindset, hindi skill-based po siya, and it's very, very rewarding, no? Kaya po nagsa-seminar po, no? Sila PSE, sila Dragonfly about investing is because malaki po yung possible na maging reward po, no, sa mga Filipino families. Napakaganda po talaga ng potential when we invest in stocks. Kaya po nandito rin po sila and they're doing their best, no, para i-educate po tayo kasi konti pa lang po ang nag-i-invest sa stocks, so, sa mga Pilipino. It's very easy po to start, no? Hindi siya sugal at maganda po ang kita po nito, no? Compare po sa iba pong asset classes na makikita po ninyo sa market. Next slide po, please. And reason number 2, outsourcing your investment is not optimal. Ako po, very, very vocal po ako na hindi po ako fan ng mutual fund. For the reason po, no, lalo na po dito po sa Philippines, medyo mataas po talaga ang fees, no? Nagre-range po yan, on the average, magre-range po yan ng 2%, no? So, Kuya John, 2% lang naman, maliit na bagay yun. It's not, no? When you start computing po kasi, pag nag-compute na po kayo, no? 2%, no? Pag pinroject mo po yan in 20 years, kalahati po ng possible na maging profit po ninyo ang nawawala po sa inyo, no? So, malaki po ang mawawala po sa inyo. Is so much better, no? Na mag-DIY po kayo or mag-do it yourself, no? Start, opening accounts sa mga brokers and start investing yourself po, no? Ayan. And of course, no, ngayon may bago po kasing mandate po, no, na lumabas na ini-implement po ng maraming brokers na po ngayon, like Dragonfly, sila po ang nauna po dito, na wala na pong minimum commission fee, no? This is a game changer. Kasi pwede ka na pong mag-diversify ng portfolio mo at hindi po masyadong malaki ang gagastusin po ninyo, no? So that's very, very important po. Next slide po, please. Ayan. At ito po yung isang malaking reason po, no? Kasi pag nag-invest po kayo sa stocks, kalimutan niyo po yung sinasabi po sa inyo ng kapitbahay ninyo, ng kaibigan po ninyo, na araw-araw nagbabantay kayo ng presyo na tataas, bababa, nahihilo na kayo kakataas, bababa. Hindi po presyo ang binabantayan po ninyo when you invest in stocks. Ang sinusundan po ninyo yung pinakamalalaking negosyo po sa Pilipinas. At hindi lang po pinakamalalaking negosyo, no? Pinag-aaralan po ninyo yung pinakamalalaking negosyo po sa bansa natin na ano po, pinatatakbo po ng pinakamagagaling na negosyante sa buong bansa. So ito po ang sinusundan po ninyo when you start investing in stocks. And guess what? Of course, habang tumatagal ng panahon na sinusundan niyo yung mga negosyong ito, mga negosyanteng ito, they compete with each other, they try to grow the company, marami po kayong matututunan. At yung matututunan niyo po dito, it will help you a lot even outside stock investing. Even when you start your own business, pwede po kayong i-prepare po nito kasi natututo kayo from the best of the best na businessman in the Philippines po, no? So yun po, next slide po, please. And of course, no, pag nag-compound na po ang pera po ninyo, you will have so much more option kaysa po na i-outsource po ninyo ang investing po ninyo, no? Kasi hindi naman natin alam ano mangyayari po sa atin, no? In 20 years, hindi natin alam. Kung hindi tayo mayaman, okay lang, no? So may investment tayo sa stocks, may magagamit tayo pang college ng ating anak. Pero kung nagkataon naman, who knows, no? Kung nakachamba po tayo, sinuwerte tayo, yumaman tayo, eh di may choices po tayo. Pwede ituloy ng anak natin yung portfolio and also, pwede rin iregalo na lang natin sa kanila, seed money, gusto nila magnegosyo paglaki nila. So, marami po kayong option. It's more flexible at mapapamana po ninyo yung time. Next slide po, please. So, malaking pamana po yung oras po na sinasabi po natin, no? Kasi, alam ko po na marami po sa inyo narinig niyo na po yung tinatawag na compounded interest, and it's the eighth wonder of the world according to Einstein daw po, no? And ito dito pinroject ko po sa table dito sa baba, no, na may 100,000 ka na may compounded interest na 8%, no? Ang compounded interest po kasi madaya siyang tingnan, no? In the first 10 years parang walang nangyayari kasi tingnan niyo po sa 10 years, no? Yung 100,000 mo, na doble lang in 10 years. Ang tagal ng 10 years eh. Na doble lang yung pera ko. Pero guess what po, no? Habang tumatagal, pag yung time ay lumagpas ka na sa 10 years, that's when the magic happens. Ang bilis niya pong lumakas, ang bilis niya pong lumaki. In 40 years, imagine kung nag-start ka mag-invest ng 20 years old ka. By the time na 60 ka, 40 years, no? Magre-retire ka na. 2 million na yung 100,000 mo. So times 10 po, no? And kung ipapamana mo yan sa anak mo, it's as if kung ngayon yung anak mo is 1 year old, 2 year old, 2 years old. Imagine from 1 year old to 60 years, binigyan mo siya ng 2 extra decades to compound. So yung 100K mo magiging 10 million. That is 100x, kung hindi po ako nagkakamali. So, yun po ang mapapamana po natin, no? Yung time po na yon. And mas importante po sa time, no? Beyond money. Nasabi ko po kanina, marami kayong matututunan from business, from investing, following the greatest businessman in the Philippines. Ipapamana mo yung knowledge na yan sa anak mo habang lumalaki po siya. Yung experiences niyo po as an investor, yung experiences nyo, kaka-observe. Yun po ang ipapamana po ninyo most importantly. At yung pamana po na yan, na education na yan, hindi tinuturo sa school yan. At hindi po maituturo sa school yan ng mga teachers, kayo po ang magtuturo sa kanya. So it's very, very big deal po. Kaya po, hinihikayat po namin kayo na mag-start po kayo mag-investing po sa stocks. Next po, please. So, next naman po, okay, Kuya John, gusto ko na po mag-invest, no? Ano ba ang strategy? Anong gagawin ko? Ang nire-recommend po talaga namin ni Sir John Lim po is dividend investing for retail investor po sa mga Pilipino. So, i-define po natin. So, okay. So, konting background na po, no? Kasi in the past po, no? Kasi alam naman po ng mga personal friends ko, no, that I'm really into investing in stocks. And marami pong lumalapit sa akin in the past, no? Kuya John, gusto ko mag-invest sa stocks. Tinataboy ko po sila. Sinasabi ko sa kanila, huwag kayo mag-invest sa stocks. This is a very, very dangerous place, no? Pwede kang mawalan ng pera sa stocks, no? Kasi you need a lot of passion to survive in this investing. Kasi nung in the past, wala akong framework eh. Ako kasi pwede akong walang framework kasi yung passion ko talaga nandun eh. Pero now I discovered dividend investing. Doon ko po masasabi po talaga sa inyong lahat, no? Na there is a framework na pwede po, very, very accessible at madali niyo po mai-apply at magiging successful po kayo sa investing. Next po. So, ang broad definition lang po ng dividend investing po is nag-i-invest ka sa stocks na consistent magbigay ng dividends for many, many years, no? Yun po ang broad definition po niya, no? Okay, next po, please. So, ang own blend ko lang po, gusto ko po siyang lagyan pa ng restriction para mas ma-optimize pa po natin yung success na mangyayari po sa inyo. Anong ibig ko pong sabihin? Una po, dapat, no, pag mag-i-invest po tayo, hindi lang enough na nagbibigay siya ng consistent na dividends. Dapat po ang pinipili niyo pong business ay nakikita niyo pong wonderful po ang negosyo po na nabibilhin po ninyo. Ano pong ibig sabihin ng wonderful? Dapat medyo konti ang utang or manageable lang utang. Siyempre, ang hirap po, no? Nagbibigay nga ng dividends. Sasakit naman ng ulo mo, hindi ka makatulog sa gabi dahil ang laki ng utang ng company. So, huwag pong ganon. Dapat konti lang ang utang. Ano pa? Maganda yung negosyo niya, inherent na negosyo niya, mataas yung return on invested capital, no? Kaya kasi pag mataas ang ROIC, this is prime to growth po talaga. At lastly po, dapat nakikita po ninyo, no, na yung business po na yan, no, is nakikita niyo talaga yung potential na lalago pa siya for at least 10 years or more. Bakit kailangan wonderful stock, Kuya John, ang bibili ko? Bakit kailangan growing siya? Bakit kailangan konti ang utang? Para po sigurado po at makikita po ninyo talaga, no, na mapapalaki niya yung dividends each year na dumadaan. Maaari ngayon, piso lang ang dividends yan this year. Pero next year, 110 na. Sa susunod na taon, 125. Next year, 150. Palaki ng dividends. Yun ang gusto natin. Hindi lang consistent, kundi palaki ng palaki. And of course, lastly po, na my own blend of dividend investing, of course, you always don't overpay. Wag pong bili ng bili. Basta nagbibigay ng dividends, bili na agad. Hindi po. Kailangan po, matuto din po tayo ng konti na we pay when the price is right. Pag medyo mura po siya, doon po tayo papasok at talagang i-snatch natin yung mga shares po ng stocks po na yan. Okay po ba? Ayun. Next po, please. And of course, may goal po tayo, no? Na nakatingin po talaga tayo, no? Doon sa dividend income po natin, no? Na ang goal po talaga natin, okay, sige ngayon, nag-umpisa ako, Kuya John, no? Ito lang ang puhunan ko. Kaya lang annually, 5,000 lang yung ano eh, yung nakukuha kong dividend. No problem. Ang goal mo, mapalaki mo na mapalaki yung annual dividends na makukuha mo. At yun ang magiging metric mo. At yun ang susundan mo. At yun ang monitoring mo sa portfolio mo, no? Para po, nandun talaga, no, goal-oriented ka sa pag-invest. At meron ka talagang guideline, no? Nakikita mo talaga kung nawawala ka na sa landas o nasa landas ka pa, no? Alright, so yun po. Next po, please. Ayan. So yun na po, no? Sana nagustuhan niyo po yung sinabi kong dividend investing. Pero dito na po tayo papasok sa susunod. Bakit? Dividend investing. Number 1 po, hindi po muna pera. Kasi marami po sa atin mukhang pera. Ang number 1 po talaga dyan, you have to catch fundamentally sound companies. Defensive po tayo as an investor, ayaw po natin mawalan ng pera. So dapat po, defensive po tayo. Ang reason na nagdi-dividend investing po tayo para fundamentally sound talaga ang nabibili nating company. Kasi po pag wala po tayong fundamentals po, sugal po ang ginagawa natin. Bili ka na ng bili ng ticker symbol. Hindi po ticker symbol. Ang binibili mo, negosyo po. Sa stock investing, negosyo po, no? And investing po is a process of elimination. Sobrang dami pong stocks, hindi po worth ng time natin na titingnan natin, pag-aaralan natin. Hindi po ganon. Eliminate ka ng eliminate lahat ng pangit, itapon mo. Yung maganda lang ang pipiliin mo, no? So yan po, dividend investing that you catch fundamentally sound companies. Okay? Next po, please. Ayan. So bakit fundamentally sound, Kuya John, pag dividend ang stocks, no? Pag dividend stocks ang binibili mo? Kasi po, kaya nga nakakapagbigay yan sa'yo ng consistent dividends kasi proven na. Ang business model niya, sigurado kumikita na yan na maraming taon eh. Kasi taon-taon niyang bigay ng pera eh. Profitable at may cash flow, may free cash flow po yan. Ano bang gusto mo sa isang kumpanya? Imagine mo, may kumpanya kang bibili privately. Ano ang mas maganda? Yung naliligo at ang dami-dami niyang cash at hindi niya alam saan niya ilalagay ang cash kaya nga pinamimigay na lang niya. O yung kumpanya na walang cash, may problema sa cash. Hindi niya alam kung may pampasweldo pa siya sa tao niya next month, next year. Na may problema po siya. Alin ang mas maganda? Siyempre, mas maganda po yung maraming pera. Okay? And pag-increasing pa ang dividends, so ibig sabihin talaga maraming cash yan. It can survive economic cycles, no? Market and economic cycles. So very, very good po talaga po, no? Okay, next lang po. Ano pa? Easier analysis. Ito po, reklamo ng maraming kaibigan ko na seasoned investor na po sa stocks na talagang ini-stress na nila ako katanong. Ayoko na mag-invest kasi hindi ko naman mahulaan sino yung susunod na lilipad eh. Eh yun kasi ang problema eh. Ang gusto mong hanapin sino yung susunod na lilipad eh. Ang hirap po nun. Mahirap po malaman guys kung sino ang stock na susunod na lilipad. Pero yung pag-predict po, no, kung sino ang negosyo ang solid, kung sino ang negosyo ang may cash flow, sino ang negosyo ang slowly but surely mag-improve, mas madali po itong maintindihan at mas madali po natin mape-predict sa kanilang financial. Okay? Next po. Ano pa? Less stressful. Ito katulad po ng sinasabi ko po sa inyo, no? Nai-stress ka, natingin ka ng tingin sa presyo, tataas, bababa, di ka makatulog sa gabi. Ang hirap po niyan. Dividend investing is all about following that business. Ang business po, wala po nangyayari sa business day to day. Matagal po bago mag-arrange ng mga deals, ng mga negosyo, ng mga contract, supplier, client. Matagal po yan eh. So, hindi naman kailangan araw-araw binabantayan mo yan. Pag nakabili ka na po ng isang negosyo na maganda, alam mo maganda yung negosyo niya, patok na patok sa market. Tapos yung management pa niyan, ang galing ng management. Tapos yung integrity ng management, napakataas ng integrity. Ang gagaling na, mababait pa. Eh, ano pa mangyayari? Hindi mo na kailangan ng insider trading. You're just waiting for good news to happen. Dahil yung management, they are really, really working very hard na makakuha po sila ng magagandang deals. Kaya hindi ka na may stress, kaka-follow ng price movement. Okay po ba? Next lang po, please. Ayan, it helps you with long-term mindset. O to, i-google niyo po ang pangalan ni Grace Groner. Nag-invest po siya ng $180 no, sa isang stock. And after how many decades, naging $7 million yung 180 nga. Kasi po, ang nagiging successful po sa pag-i-invest sa stock, yung talagang long-term mag-isip eh. Yung pangmatagalan po eh. Yung po, sila po talaga nagiging successful. Actually, may napakinggan nga ako sa news or sa YouTube, no? I think 10 years ago or 15 years ago, may isang babae, no, na nagbukas siya ng account at may binili siyang stock. Ang problema, nakakalimutan niya na may account siya sa broker na yun. 50,000 yung nilagay niya. After ilang years, binalikan niya yung broker niya, 4 million na, yung 50,000 niya. Long term po talaga. Actually, nag-uusap po kami nila Sir John Garcia, no, ng PSC, tsaka ni Sir John Lim last week po. Nagkakwento kami ng konti. Kung talagang long term ka mag-isip, ang ganda talaga sa stocks po, no? Ayan. Kasi nga po, it will help you with long-term mindset kasi nakatingin ka sa retirement goals mo o yung goals mo long term, no? Okay, next lang po. Ano pa? Very, very, very important po, guys, no? Confidence to commit larger capital. No, ini-encourage ko po kayo na magbukas po kayo ng account, preferably, syempre po, no, sa mga trusted brokers po natin, katulad ng Dragonfly. Pero of course, no, start po kayo na maliit lang. Start kayo na maliit lang. At habang natututo po kayo ng dividend investing at natututo kayo ng fundamental analysis at sinusundan nyo na yung negosyo, nagkakaroon kayo ng more and more and more and more confidence. At yung confidence po na yan ang mag-enable po sa inyo na makapag-commit pa kayo ng larger capital in the future. Pero guys, pag kayo po ay nanghuhula kung saan kayo mag-i-invest, hindi po kayo magkakaroon ng confidence na maglagay ng malaking pera. So pag hindi niyo ini-invest, ang karamihan ng pera po ninyo, natutulog po yun. Sayang. Hindi po nag-work ang pera po ninyo para sa inyo. Nakukuha niyo po ba? Okay, next lang po, please. Number 6 po, no? Kaya dividend investing ang nire-recommend namin sa inyo. Dividend investing is an insurance. Kasi ang market, hindi natin alam kung anong mangyayari. Like sa Japan, no? Nikkei 225, ang primary index po ng Japan, no? Noong 1989, nag-crash po siya, 89 or 1990. 35 years ago na po, ngayon, flat pa rin po kung ano yung index nila nung araw, 40,000 yen. Ang index nila hanggang ngayon, wala pang 40,000 yen po ngayon. So kung nag-invest ka nun, wala ka pang kininta hanggang ngayon. Paano po yan? Eh yung nagde-devalue na yung yen mo throughout the years po, no? Ganoon din yung PSEI for the past 12 years, flat po. Pero gumawa po ako personally po, no, nag-compute po ako ng iba't ibang stocks na kung nagdi-dividend investing ka, ang profit mo would range from 30 to 100% without doing anything special talaga. No? Just mamili ka lang ng few very, very solid dividend stocks. Yung profit mo sa PSE, no, for the past 10 years would have been between 30 to 100% or even more, depende kung gaano ka kaswerte. It will be very, very good for you, no? And syempre, dahil maliit po ang PSE, very, very prone po sa value trap. Kung hindi po nyo naiintindihan yung value trap, basta gamot po sa value trap ang dividend investing. Next po, please. Ayan, ano pa? Protection from your emotion ang stock market po. Matatagal na po nag-i-invest sa stock market. Very, very highly energized and emotional place po ang stock market. At kapag kayo po nagpadala po kayo sa energy ng market, magiging syusyunga-syunga po kayo. It will lead to poor decisions such as buying high and selling low. Ganun po kung hindi niyo yung expertise. Lalo na hindi niyo expertise ang technical analysis at magpapadala kayo sa emotion niyo, lagot po kayo. And dividend investing, dahil nga nakakatanggap ka ng dividends, no, mas secure ka, mas long-term ka, napoprotect ka sa emotions mo. Kasi very, very important po kapag nag-i-invest kayo, utak po ang pinapagana, hindi po puso. Parang love life po yan. Utak, hindi puso. Okay? Ulitin ko, utak po, hindi puso. Okay? Next po, please. Ayan, number 8 po. Dahil nga po hindi po stressful ang dividend investing at fundamental analysis. Sa umpisa, syempre, mag-aaral ka ng marami. Sa umpisa, pero pag nasanay ka na, ay hindi ka naman bantay ng bantay. Minsan pwede na, once a year ka lang magtingin ng annual report, babasahin mo lang ano nangyari sa negosyo. Minsan okay na yun Kasi solid naman yung nabili mo Diba? Tapos alam mo maganda yung management, hindi ka bantay ng bantay. Marami kang oras na gawin ang ibang bagay na importante sa'yo, such as advancing your career. Mag-upgrade ka ng skills mo para sa career mo. Mag-sideline ka, mag-love life ka, sagutin mo yung manliligaw mo, manligaw ka, magpakasal kayo, mag-hobby ka, bahala ka, manood ka sa akin. Pwede po. Okay. So marami ka kung time. Okay, next po, please. Ayan, ano ba? It feels good. Ang sarap-sarap makatigtanggap ng dividends, guys. Hindi ko na masabi sa inyo magkano na natatanggap ng dividends. Pero ang sarap, grabe, mainggit kayo pag nakita talaga nila. Joke lang po. Pero masarap po talaga. Lalo na pag nawagpas na kayo ng 10 years, palaki ng palaki po yan. Ay, nako. Grabe, umpisahan nyo na to, guys. Alright, next po. Number 10, no, you compound slowly but surely, no? Kasi retirement is very expensive. Katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, no? Magko-compound ka dahan-dahan po, no? Next po, please. Ayan. So, ganyan po kasi, malapit na po matapos. Konting slide na lang po to. Konting tiis na lang po, no? Ayan, alam ko, nasisilo na kayo sa noo ko, pero konting-konti na lang. Ganito po kasi yan, no? Yung mga mahilig po talaga sa mga speculative investing, mahihilig manghula, ganyan. Ang gusto kasi niyan maka-jackpot Ang analogy ko dyan, para ka nag-American football, yung gusto mo papasa ka ng malayo, ang layo na, 100 yards na agad yung na-cover mo, jackpot agad. Ang problema po kasi dyan, guys, minsan panalo ka, minsan talo ka. Nanalo ka ng 10, bukas talo ka ng 10, mananalo ka ng 10, talo ka ng 10. 10 taon ka na nag-i-invest, wala ka pang profit. Nagka-cancel out. Pero pag nagdi-dividend investing ka, yung buong portfolio mo, lahat ng stock sa portfolio mo, mula sa taas hanggang sa baba, tulong-tulong lahat nag-move forward parang rugby po. Panoorin niyo po yung rugby ganito sa kanan. Ganyan po ang ginagawa po natin pag nagdi-dividend investing, slowly but surely. Next po, please. Ayan, okay, na-explain ko na po ito. Okay, next po, please. So, ayan. So, ganito po, no? Second to the last slide ko na po ito, ha? Konting-konti na lang, ha? Ayan, tsaga-tsaga lang po, guys, ha? Isipin mo to, guys, no? Imagine mo lang. Growing stock yun nabili mo. Lumalago siya ng kusa. So, ibig kong sabihin, by itself, yung pera na nilagay mo sa isang stock na growing, lumalago na siya. By itself, tama po ba? Number 2, binibigyan ka ng dividends na nire-reinvest mo. Dalawang factor na to ang nagtutulungan para yumaman ka. Number 3, tuwing sahod mo, nagtatabi ka pa ng pera na ini-invest mo. Tatlo na ang nagtutulungan para yumaman ka. Number 4, yung dividend stock na binili mo, palaki yung dividends na binibigay sa'yo. 4 na factor po ang nagtutulungan para yumaman ka. Kaya meron po talagang pag-asa. Kayang-kaya po yan, no? Hindi lang po talaga natin masyadong maramdaman in the first 10 years. Pero guys, trust me, no? Magbukas kayo ng Excel, magbukas kayo ng spreadsheet, no? Try to calculate, no? 4 factors po ito na nagtutulungan. Napakaganda po na magiging pag-asa po natin. Next slide po. Ayan. So, conclusion na po ako, no? Okay, last slide ko na po ito, no? Life can be challenging, pati sa mga anak po natin. Ang daming uncertainty, no? Ang dami nating worries po, no? Ayan. Pero, no, give your child an advantage by investing as early as possible for them, no? And the stock market is one of the most rewarding places to invest. It's highly accessible, kayang-kaya. Magkano po ba, Sir John Lynn, magbukas ng account sa Dragonfly? Konting pera lang, pwede na po. Hindi naman kailangan malaki agad eh. Kayang-kaya. And dividend investing is a robust strategy that will help you avoid many mistakes and pitfalls, no? Defensive, napaka-defensive po ng dividend investing, no? And it will kickstart your journey towards compounding, no? And syempre po, no, please support po, no, ang lahat po ng value investing creators po sa Pilipinas. Dumadami na po ang community, no, na mga nagtuturo ng value investing. Si PSE Warrior, si Investing PH, Moneywise Engineer, sorry. Si Moneywise PH, si PRFM, mamili po kayo kung sino ang gusto nyo. Pero kung tatanungin niyo po, ako po ang pinapogi sa lahat. At to God be the glory, sa Diyos lang po ang lahat ng source ng boundless wisdom. Thank you so much po.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Kuya John. Kitang-kita natin yung passion ni Kuya John, not only for investing, but for teaching Filipinos about investing. Talking about boundless energy, wala na natatalo sa'yo. So, thank you for that insightful presentation. In my case naman, as a fellow parent, securing the financial future of the next generation is always on my mind. So, building on sa mga sinabi ni Kuya John, the key is to harness the power of compounding, which works best when you pair it with a long investing time horizon. And you cannot beat the investment time horizon of a child. So, look how dramatically yung parang what if kung ano, 'di ba, nakita natin yung malaking pamana ni John, 'di ba? So that's the original slide, yung sa left side. Pero what if you become more ambitious and you invest an additional 2,000 pesos a month, like what Kuya John was saying, na you add more and more capital? Look how dramatically different your returns become. On the 60th year, for example, for an additional 1.44 million pesos over 60 years, you achieve 40.2 million pesos versus the 10.12 million pesos in the original scenario. Okay. Then what he mentioned as well, what if you throughout the process, what if you become a better investor over time and you return 10% per annum instead of 8% per annum? On the 60th year, your investment grows to 103.28 million versus 40.2 million pesos. So that is the magic of compounding for you. Parang small increases to your average return rate over time is so exponentially magnified. Okay. All right, next slide, please. So what are the typical inheritance options na palagi natin iniisip for our kids? Diba? If gusto natin pamana business, a real estate property, or cash. Let's break it all down. To start a business, next slide. The probability of success of starting a business is actually very low. And the probability that the business lasts through the decades is even lower. Why? Because this is no longer the Philippines of the 1970s and the early 90s, where entrepreneurial opportunities abound. The irony is that, and this is economic theory, guys, as the economy develops, less and less entrepreneurial opportunities arises. Example lang dyan, di ba? Before, maraming sari-sari stores. Now, konti-konti, they're giving way to mga 7-Eleven. Dati, may mga DVD rentals. Now, Netflix na lang lahat tayo. Tapos, there's isa pa, substantial ang capital requirements to start a business. Even a small kiosk in a mall will set you back close to 1 million pesos once you factor in security deposits and other startup costs. In addition, continuous yung reinvestment of capital na kailangan mo. Yung startup capital is just the beginning. You need to continually reinvest to make the business viable. So the cash flow of the business won't be anywhere near its net income. So dividends from your business will always be constrained. Tapos, of course, this is not something that you can set and forget. Kung magtatakbo ka ng, gagawa ka ng negosyo, it really entails active management. Okay, next is yung real estate property. So let's divide that into two. First is the your primary home. So definitely this is a big advantage, diba? If you bequeath your primary home to your beneficiary, to your son or your daughter, because the primary home is typically the biggest expense in a person's life. Like most of you, I wish my parents bought me a house and lot, pero for most people that's not possible, right? So it has great utility. What does great utility mean? Meaning madami siyang uses. You can live in it, you can rent it out. So definitely, again, it's such a great advantage. But it also entails substantial investment, similar to a business. As mentioned earlier, it's probably the biggest expense in a person's life. But it's not truly an investment. That may surprise a lot of people. That statement may surprise a lot of people. It's not truly an investment in the sense that it does not generate cash flow, and you don't really realize the value of your investment. Why? Because the value is trapped, especially if you live in it. First of all, a primary home is rarely sold because of emotional attachment and the scarcity value. What do I mean? Imagine pinasa mo yung bahay mo sa next generation, right? If that person inherits a place in a nice neighborhood, by that time, the real estate prices in that particular vicinity, sobrang taas na. So, moving to a new location would often entail moving into a smaller home, right? So, hindi ibebenta yon. The other option is getting a bigger place, pero moving somewhere else that is far from your place of work. That person, your son or your daughter, is so used to the perks of his or her ancestral home na it would take an extraordinary situation or an emergency situation for that person to part with his or her home. That's why we always hear na yung primary house natin is a money trap, right? In that sense, it is more like a safety net as opposed to an investment. Okay, but if you're lucky enough to afford multiple properties, for example, then that's a different situation. as the real estate can act as a store of value. Next is a commercial or rental property. This one naman, obviously, it is an investment. But like the primary home, it's also requires substantial capital requirements. You are responsible for finding a tenant, and it's not going to always be 100% occupied. The rental yield is very low. At prevailing real estate prices, you'll be surprised na if you buy a condo, mapaparent mo lang yan at around a 3 to 4% yield. Meaning, yung return mo lang from versus the relative to the cost of your investment is around 3 to 4%. Maintenance expense, sagot mo pa. Tapos, so pag may nasira and all that, you have to repair for your tenant. But what's the advantage? The advantage is you have ownership of a hard asset, and you can do with it as you please, right? You can sell it in the future, you can rent it out. Okay, next is your uninvested cash. Okay. Uninvested cash kept in your savings or checking account actually erodes over time. Why? So your 50,000 pesos, for example, at a 3% annual inflation rate is only worth 27,684 after 20 years. That's the adverse effect of inflation on your money. So what's a great alternative? So a great alternative to this is to create a passive income portfolio by way of dividend growth stocks. Next slide, please. So without getting too technical, for the purpose of this webinar, your goal is to increase year after year our passive income dividend stream instead of focusing on the day-to-day stock price volatility as what Kuya John mentioned earlier. Next slide. So instead of leaving your son and daughter a business, leave her instead a basket of the best and biggest companies in the country. So you want rental income? How about rental income from Ayala malls such as Glorieta and Greenbelt by investing in Ayala REIT or A-REIT? Electricity prices soaring? Invest in Meralco and Aboitiz Power. Invest in clean water, which is increasingly becoming a scarce resource through Manila Water, or the democratization of financial services through BPI and Metrobank. By the way, for those in the audience who are new to investing, dividends is a share of a company's profit that it distributes to shareholders. So whether you are part of the Ayala or C family, or just a minority investor like myself, as a shareholder, you get the same proportionate share of the company's earnings. What's great is dividends of the most successful companies grow over time. So, for example, if you had 1,000 shares of, so if you can see here in this chart, 15 years ago, BPI only paid 1 pesos and 53 cents per share in dividends. In 2024, that increased to 3.96 pesos. How about Meralco? Even more dramatic yung increase. In 2009, it only paid 2 pesos and 50 cents in dividends. In 2024, it paid 21 pesos and 53 cents. So, for example, you had 1,000 shares in Meralco in 2009. It paid you 2,500 in dividends that year. In 2024, for that same 1,000 shares, you would have received 21,530. So imagine how big the dividends will be in 40 to 60 years. All right, next slide, please. So just to highlight the potential of dividend investing and to tickle your imagination, I always default to the story of ICT of Enrique Rezon. Next slide, please. So if you had bought 100,000 shares of ICT for 266,000 pesos in 2003, without dividend reinvesting, your shares will now be worth approximately 36.28 million pesos. If you had reinvested the dividends that you received in ICT as well, your shares will now be worth 59.4 million pesos. Okay, putting it another way, in 2003, for your 266,000 investment in ICT, ICT paid you 30,000 pesos worth of dividends. Imagine this, by 2024, for the same shares that you bought 20 years prior, ICT would have paid you 935,000 pesos worth of dividends in 2024. So how did ICT do this? ICT management grew its dividend payout by 23.6% per annum over that 20-year stretch. And because dividend growth supports higher stock prices, from your 2.66 per share purchase price in 2003, ICT is now trading around 360 per share. So over 100x your investment. Tapos over the years, kumita ka pa ng napakalaking dividends, right? Okay, next slide, please. So, okay, now going to the topic at hand, how do you open an ITF account? So ITF stands for in trust for account. So it's easy, it's very easy. Please download Dragonfi 2.0 in iOS and in Google Play. So open and fund your account. No need for physical documents. By the way, Dragonfi is the only brokerage right now in the country that's approved for eKYC. So it's similar to opening a digital bank. You can do everything online, and you if you open an ordinary account, not an ITF account, you can actually open and fund your account in as little as 15 minutes. But in an ITF situation, if you open an Intrust 4 account, we have to verify the documents of your beneficiary, which entails manual approval. Next slide, please. So basically, you just tap to register. Once you download the account, you complete the necessary personal information. Tap, I want to be a beneficiary. Tap, I want to add a beneficiary under Intrust 4 section. Put the full name of the beneficiary and upload the beneficiary's ID. Then you complete your account verification process as usual. So what are the relevant features of an ITF account? So with an ITF account, you can transfer to your beneficiary when he or she becomes 18 or above without incurring additional trading fees. If it's not an ITF account, you have to sell the shares and buy it back for your son. So that would incur additional commissions. Not yet done. So process is started by submit. So you can easily transfer the account to your beneficiary by submitting a written request to effect the transfer. So the primary account holder, by the way, reserves the right to the timing of the transfer to the beneficiary. So what does that mean? So you can actually maintain control of the asset at your choosing. So let's say you can actually still hold the asset for as long as you please. Let's say you can just transfer the assets, the ITF account to your beneficiary when you're in your 60s or in your 70s. That depends on you. In the event that the problem is, in the event that the primary account holder passes away before effectively transferring the ITF account, the account shall automatically go to the estate of the primary account holder. That means your heirs need to submit an extrajudicial settlement, an EJS document, or a proper court judgment, resolution, or order to be able to transfer the asset. That's why it's really beneficial to transfer it way ahead of time. Next slide, please. So we understand that in Dragonfi, we understand that a lot of people are intimidated by investing, and you don't know where to start. And we know this. So what we did was we designed Dragonfi to be an inclusive community of investors. So in Dragonfi, we started what's known as the investing club, where I actually manage a real money model portfolio, passive income portfolio. As an account holder, you will receive trade alerts before I buy and sell anything. You will receive analysis and research and education. Next slide, please. So as of August 13, 2024, we started the portfolio around November 29, 2023. So year to date, we're already up around 25.83%. Next slide, please. So you don't only need to learn from us. What we did was we embedded the content of Kuya John and other creators like Kuya John, so you can watch and learn from the country's top financial literacy creators from the comforts of the Dragonfi app. If you want a personal touch, you can book a goal getter program where you can consult with me before starting in your investment journey. Basically, that's it for on my end. Thank you. We now open the floor to your questions.
All right. Thank you very much, Kuya John and John, JT
Yep.
and JL. Napaka um, information filled and enlightening ang inyong presentation, ano. I really enjoyed listening kay Kuya John. And actually
Unrivaled.
pati yung mga participants natin may mga may
Yeah.
mga comments kanina eh. They enjoyed the presentation. So ayan, marami na rin tayong mga questions in the Q&A box, and for those participating in or watching us in the live stream, you can also type your question in the comment section. Okay, so the focus ng discussion natin is really about dividend investing. Pero aside from stocks, meron din mga ibang may mga ibang investment instruments din out there na nagbibigay din ng mga returns sa kanilang mga investors. May question tayo from an anonymous attendee, and anyone can take this. What are the pros and cons of investing in dividend stocks or say real estate investment trusts versus investing in say the likes of Pag-ibig MP2 or investing in cooperatives?
You want to take it?
Oh, sure. Sige. Yeah. But if you want, Kuya John, you
Okay.
can start.
Siguro, I will start and then you can add more.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. So,
Okay.
like for example, I'm more familiar with Pag-ibig MP2, no? So, ang pros ng Pag-ibig MP2, it's safe. Yeah? Kasi it's government backed, and then yung business model behind it is very, very solid. No? Nagpapautang yan and hawak nila yung property, no? Hanggat hindi binabayaran ng umutang nung property, no? So very, very solid ang business model ng Pag-ibig, and so very, very safe ang pera mo sa kanya. Ang problem lang yung magiging dividends sa kanya hindi siya katulad nung mangyayari like sa binigyan na example ni Sir John Lim na talagang paangat ang dividends mo every year, no? It will just range between 6 to 8% and ng dividend ang yield mo, and that's it. Yun na yun. And so yun yung cons naman niya. With dividend stocks, ang pros niya is if you choose wisely and you choose correctly, at ang nakuha mong stocks is a stock that will keep on increasing yung dividends na ibibigay nila, pataas ang dividends nun. So that is something na hindi may bibigay sa'yo ng Pag-ibig MP2. And of course, no, ang cons naman nun is, of course, you have to understand yung business, no? Kasi there's a business behind the stock, no? Hindi naman basta magically will give you dividends, no? There's a business behind. So, yun po yung sa akin. Sir John, if you...
Yep. Actually, I'm just gonna echo everything that Kuya John has said. Yung sa Pag-ibig MP2, it's really great. I think it's really a great investment. Kunwari talagang you're very risk averse kasi it's secured by the government. You have government guarantee. Ang problem lang talaga is you have to part with your capital for at least 5 years, right? You can take out the dividends on an annual basis, but yung principal mo, it remains inside the fund for 5-year stretch. Ang big advantage talaga ng dividend stocks and mga REITs over MP2 is that, like what I mentioned earlier, yung case ng ICT, right? It can, or Meralco for that example, kasi Meralco also grew their dividends by over 15% per annum over a 15-year stretch. Yung Pag-ibig MP2, very static yan eh. Parang it's like it's run like a business, right? If ito yung kinita ng business, bibigay ko sa'yo, here's your 6%, here's your 7%. But you will not have, you can never have a situation like ICT wherein in 2002, 2003, 30 cents lang yung dividends niya, bigla na lang in 2024, 9 pesos and 35 cents na yung dividends niya. That's a dramatic difference. Like yung pinakita ko kanina, for the same 100,000 shares that you held in 2002, you received 30,000 pesos in 2002. By the time 2024, 935,000 pesos na worth of dividends na nakuha mo, that is not possible with MP2. And lastly, people might think na maliit lang naman yung difference parang 1%, 2%, right? Difference between, but as I said, when you compound 1%, 2%, 3% over time, dramatic, because this is not linear growth. This is exponential growth. Talagang makita mo talaga na your capital keeps on rising. Yung parang dramatic yung difference between something na simple interest and compound interest.
Okay, thank you, guys, for giving your thoughts about investing in dividend stocks and comparing it with Pag-ibig MP2. Since we're on the topic of dividend investing, si Genesis Villaluz is asking, meron bang DRIP, dividend reinvestment program sa PSE companies? Is this part of the strategy that you are pushing for in Dragonfy, John?
I'm sorry, parang nag-tail off ka,
Sorry.
JG.
Meron bang dividend reinvestment program sa PSE companies? Tinatanong ni Genesis Villaluz. Is this a part of the dividend investment strategy that you're pushing for there at Dragonfy?
Yep, actually, that's in our development pipeline. Actually, John, babato ko, JG Garcia, babato ko yan sa'yo eh. Hinihintay lang namin yung 100 pesos na lot size. Once the PSE implements yung rationalization of lot size, it would become very, very easy to do the DRIP program. Kasi right now, syempre nag-iiba yan. It's hard to implement DRIP program pag iba-iba pa yung mga lot size requirements ng companies. Kasi baka yung dividends na natanggap ninyo, hindi siya kasha for one board lot share. I mean, board lot, right? So, but once the PSE under the auspices of Mr. John Garcia, once they finally launch yung rationalization of lot sizes nila, this will be very easy to do for Dragonfly.
Okay, glad that you mentioned it, JL, John. Kasi there's a question from an anonymous attendee. To capture Filipino investors, it's addressed to me, to capture more Filipino investors, do you have any plans or update on investing stock through fractional shares or yung fractional trading? So that's the initiative that the PSE is working on right now. If you're already investing in stocks, you must be aware we have a board lot table which somewhat defines the minimum investment required for a particular stock. Depende kung magkano yung share price ng stock. So there's an ongoing proposed amendment to our trading rules to reduce itong board lot schedule, effectively reducing the minimum investment for any stock down to 100 pesos. And that's just the first leg of it. Eventually, we even want to make it lower. And to support that, yun nga, recently is yung minimum 20 peso brokerage commission kasi it won't make sense kung maliliit yung transaction sizes mo and then you're paying 20 pesos to your broker, right? So yun, hopefully in the first half of 2025, this will be already implemented. So we'll just have to wait for it. But definitely the PSE is in the process of developing this, of course, to further support our retail investors para mas maka-access kayo at mas makapag-invest kayo sa stocks. And something like this would support yung DRIP kanina na sinasabi ng ating participant, yung dividend reinvestment program. All right. Si Kuya John kanina sinabi niya na yung pag pipili ka ng companies, wag lang yung basta bigay lang ng bigay ng dividend, kailangan wonderful yung companies mo na pang long term. Oh guys, as a disclaimer, we're not giving investment recommendations here. These are all for educational and informational purposes only. Nasa iyo to John if you want to give the answer now. Pero maybe kung hindi man 3 companies, maybe probably industries na you think they can find wonderful stocks as you were describing them earlier.
Okay. So, siguro ganito ko siya sasagutin, guys, there's a reason why PSE is really working hard para mag-attract na new investors. Kasi ang ganda ng valuation ngayon ng stock market. Di po ba, Sir John Garcia? So, ang ganda po ang daming, ako kasi personally, I'm a concentrated investor. During bull run, typically, ang portfolio ko will just consist of 4 to 6 stocks. Pero ngayon, nagugulat ako. Ang dami ko nabibili kasi ang dami po talagang mura at magaganda yung companies. So, I think that is also the reason na talagang Dragonfly and PSC are really working very, very hard na i-inform po tayong lahat na may opportunity po ngayon. So having said that, ang dami po talaga, no? You can go to energy sector, kasi sa energy sector, all season po yan. Lahat ng season, kailangan mo ng energy. Hindi naman po mawawala pangangailangan natin sa energy. All the time, every time, kailangan po natin ng energy, no? Retail, marami po magandang stocks po sa retail, no? Kasi syempre, mas madali po, mas accessible po sa ating investor maintindihan po ang retail kasi may perspective po tayo. Consumer tayo eh. 'Di ba? Bisa pag lumabas ka, alam mo kung ano ang mabenta eh, no? So may mga ganun po tayong insight, no? So marami po tayong makikita and ini-encourage ko po kayo na mag-start po kayo magtingin-tingin din po, no? Konting aral po ng financials din po, no? Siguro para hindi kayo ma-disappoint, bigyan ko lang kayo ng mga konti, no? Mga Lucio Co stocks, very very good. Although maraming ayaw kay Lucio Co, kuripot daw, pero I feel Lucio Co is a very, very pragmatic businessman. Sobrang solid niya magpatakbo ng business. Talagang very pragmatic siya. So gusto ko yung mga stocks ni Lucio Co. And of course, mga alak na stocks. Nagulat ako kasi kahit nung pandemic, no? Kahit nung pandemic, pinagbawal po, no? Ng past administration ng mga alak. Pero grabe, lumipad po. Kumita ba rin ng mga alak, hindi napigilan ng mga Pilipino. Alam na, no? So, ganun eh. So, and then pag titingnan po ninyo, no, ang konti ng utang ng mga alak stocks, halos wala pong mga utang po, no? And ang ganda po ng mga returns nila on invested capital. They don't need a lot of capital just to grow, no? So, yun po yung mga masasabi ko po.
Thank you, Kuya John.
Thank you
So
po.
ito, isa sa mga poll survey answers kanina, yung why are they investing? Why are the parents investing for their child? And ang isa dyan is pamana para sa anak, para turuan ang anak, para on the value of investing. Ito, wala akong inputs dito, wala pa akong anak, pero para sa dalawang parents natin na nandito, mga resource speakers natin, si Carlo Angeles is asking, when do you think is the right time or age for your child to start learn investing? Sige, John Lim muna and then Kuya John.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay.
So actually, ako right now, my son is already 14. I'm actually starting to teach him about the basics of investing. It's really important. Bakit? Investing is about getting yung 10,000 hours in yung repetition parang to learn. So I've just felt na it takes around 3 market cycles, meaning a bull bear consolidation, bull bear consolidation. So that's around mga 10 years So I feel that 14 is the right time. Mga around 12 to 14 is the right time to teach them. Obviously, pwede mo na silang turuan earlier than that, but sometimes what I saw was yung from the point of view of my son, nahirapan siya Pag yung parang pre-algebra pa lang inaaral niya, hindi pa niya maintindihan masyado yung mga concepts. But pag around 12 to 14, nakita ko he started picking up na yung mga investing concepts, and the goal is by the time na 22, 24 years old siya, talagang meron na siyang experience and he has yung skill set niya medyo mas further along na.
How about you, Kuya John? Do you agree? 14 years old?
I think that would depend pa rin doon sa bata. So of course, no, we could, kasi sa kanya, specific case na, so he can gauge exactly kung nasaan na yung anak niya, of course. So that is the best age para sa anak niya.
Correct.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it would be case to case po, no? Pero ako po, kasi sa specific case ko po kasi, yung anak ko kasi is a special child. So like ngayon, magta-10 na siya, pero maturity level niya is about 2 to 3 years old. So it will be different, no? Pero if I would have another child, of course, no, I would start teaching him the value of money as early as possible, as early as 2 or 3 years old. Ipapaalam ko na sa kanya the value of money. And as soon as he can learn math, then I would start teaching him the basics, maybe not of investing, but of course, looking at numbers, interpreting numbers sa financial statement. I would teach him as early as he could understand math, arithmetic. I would try to start, no, maybe not stock investing, but explaining how businesses works and things like that.
Okay, thank you guys for that. John Lim, in your presentation earlier, I saw in the slide when you were talking about the app and opening an account, it's only 1,000 pesos minimum to open an account. Si
Yep.
ano kasi is asking sa Facebook, si Robert Brania, how about for ITF accounts? How much is the minimum to open an ITF account?
Same. It's basically the same. Kasi you should treat an ITF account as if it were just a regular account. It just has the feature na in the event that you want to reassign the brokerage to your beneficiary, you can without any tax implication and without additional fees.
Okay. Here's a nice question in the webinar chat from Genesis Ule regarding the ITF. I know you already answered this earlier, John, pero not everyone's seeing the chat. So just to clarify, si Genesis is asking, is it true that I need to sell our positions in the ITF account once I will transfer the account to my beneficiary? So and if
Nope.
that is true, then parang back to zero lang yung investment ng anak ko once mag-18 na siya. Hindi may long term and no need to sell kapag ito transfer na. Maybe you can clarify on this?
Yep. So no, actually, if it's an ITF account, you do not need to sell. After we receive your request to transfer the account to your beneficiary, we will just change the name of your beneficiary, and we will just change the account title of your brokerage account. So that's the great thing about it. Hindi mo na kailangan ibenta, so you're not going to incur the additional commissions and fees. Furthermore, you don't need to pay mga estate taxes when you do transfer.
Okay. Eto naman, we have a question from a little bit of mga parents on the senior side na, no? Ang sabi ng anonymous attendee natin, I'm in my early 60s and I just want to invest for myself and my wife, partly na rin for my youngest daughter who is graduating from college at the end of this year. Now the question is it late for me to enter into dividend investing? Any of you guys?
You first, sir.
I could start to answer this, no? I would answer it with a story, no? Do you know Magic Johnson? He's one of the greatest point guards in the history of basketball in NBA. And there's this one game that they are down by 20 points and 2 minutes na lang ang natitira sa time clock. And Magic Johnson, hindi niya binabato ang bola. He is still calling plays, setting up plays methodically. So, and that is just 2 minutes remaining, guys, no? Before mag-end yung game. And still very, very patient setting up plays. Basta bato ng bato ng bato. And I would advise the same, no? Regardless kung kailan ka mag-start ng investing, hindi ka pwedeng reckless. You have to be methodical. So, what I'm saying is, it's not too late, no, to invest. And also, to add to that, hindi rin natin alam, no, kung gaano kahaba ang buhay natin. So, I would advise, no, na to take care very well of our health para humaba ang time na nag-invest tayo, humaba ang time na nagko-compound tayo, and of course, no, humaba din po yung time na ma-enjoy po natin yung wealth na na-accumulate po natin.
Okay,
sorry, I was answering a question.
About ikaw, JL.
I was answering a question in the chat. Sorry. No, actually, so mas nuance yung answer for this particular question. Since you're in your 60s, dapat naturally age-based investing, dapat mas like yung investment mo. So from growth stocks, mas na-transfer siya to dividend stocks. But even in that universe, dapat mas maliit na siya na portion of your overall investment. What do I mean? There's a rule, it's called the rule of 110. So if you're 60 years old, dapat 110 minus 60. So mga 50% na lang of your investment is associated with stocks, and the rest with mga more safer fixed income like investment. But here's the thing, if you are doing it for the purpose of your daughter who's graduating from college, then that's a different story. Then you can still be aggressive in that sense, since your daughter is still looking at 40 years to retirement, right? For she graduates at the age of 22, then that's a good 43 years till the age of 65. So iba yun. So you have to calibrate based on what is the objective of that fund. Is it for you and your wife, or is it for your daughter? And so the answer will be different for depending on the situation.
All right. And I guess if they want to learn more about your thoughts about it, Kuya John Lim and Kuya John, they can reach out to your social media accounts, or maybe open an account with Dragonfly, and they can talk to you directly.
Yes.
Earlier, kanina sa presentation ni Kuya John, he said na, yung investments hindi dapat stressful yan, ano? And hindi naman din totoo that you need to everyday monitor the movement of your investments. May mga example pa nga na there's a lady who forgot her investment and ended up with millions. Pero meron din namang mga examples na yung iba na yun ng mindset, dahil pang long term naman ito and stable naman yung listed company kung saan ako mag-i-invest. Hasta hayaan ko na yan for my retirement. Kaya lang, unfortunately, di ba, iba-iba ang timing natin eh. Like, di ba, for example, nag-invest sila, let's say, 20 years ago, and then pa-retire na sila nung in a market situation where we are right now. Pwedeng sometime in the past, yes, tumaas yung value ng investment nila, pero eventually bumaba din. And now that they're about to retire, and kukunin na nila yung proceeds ng investment nila, hindi as expected yung naging amount. Anong masasuggest nyo? I mean, portfolio managers keep on reminding din yung mga clients nila to also, from time to time, monitor their portfolio. Kayo, what are your suggestions to ensure na they get to maximize their long-term investments without, really, being stressed about it?
You first, Kuya John.
Okay. So ako ang masasabi ko kasi there's no right or wrong approach. What I would say is start investing, and you will find kung nasaan yung kung nasaan yung comfort level mo, and ikaw rin ang makakasagot talaga niyan kung ano yung tamang approach. Kasi I have my own way of thinking, pero I cannot pass my own conviction to another person. Kaya nga magkakaiba rin tayo ng approach, and any approach can actually work, no? Kasi ako more on, ang isa sa tinitingnan ko is, I look at yung dividend income. So, hindi do sa value po nung capital mo, no? Yung value ng share price mo. But, pwede rin kasi titingnan mo, magkano yung magiging annual dividend income mo. And if it can suffice yung needs mo on your retirement on per annual basis, then you may not have anything to worry about. But then again, you have to start investing so you could discover yourself, who you are, and how comfortable you would be.
All right, thank you for that, Kuya John. How about your thoughts on this, John Lim?
JG, sorry, I was answering another question sa webinar chat. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, kasi di ba, ang nangyayari, kung minsan ang mindset ng investors natin, I'm investing in sound companies, sigurado ako that the company is properly managed, and I'm investing for the long term.
Yeah, okay.
Yung parang somehow rule of thumb natin sa stock market, that the stock price tend to go up in general over time. So ang question dyan is, there are also examples na yung iba, by the time na kukunin na nila yung proceeds ng investment nila, unfortunately mas naging mababa pa yung presyo ng investment nila from the time that they bought it. That's how markets work. So how can they avoid this? without really stressing them out, how they can monitor their portfolio regularly without stressing them.
Okay, that's actually an excellent question. So ako personally, in my case, I do not believe in buy, hold, and pray. It's always buy, hold, and homework. What does that mean? You really do have, kasi when you buy when you're investing in a dividend stock, you always have to think of three things: dividend safety, the growth, and margin of safety. So I don't want to get too technical because nasa Q&A tayo. But the way you do it is dapat every quarterly report ng mga companies, because companies report every quarter. You have to see if your investment thesis is still valid, because para makita mo if let's say for example may binili kang company because you expected such and such and such, but bigla na lang na invalidate yon sa mga earnings pronouncement niya, yung fundamentals ng company nag-deteriorate, then you have to act. But this also goes to the point of that is why it's important to diversify within and across asset classes. Hindi ka pwede overly concentrated, pero hindi ka rin pwede over diversified. There's really a sweet spot.
Balance.
So there.
Thank you for that, John Lim. Okay, I just want to read a few comments and insights shared by our participants this afternoon. Marami pa tayong mga questions, but I think in the interest of time, we cannot answer all of them. But I just want to read some of the comments. Si Levi Boris, sinabi niya na the best time to invest was yesterday and the next best day is today. And I hope that itong insights na to you also put into practice. And I hope webinars like this would entice our participants to invest properly. Ang isa sigurong magandang example natin is si Ryan Troy Gutierrez. Salamat po sa mga ganitong webinar. Kasi guys, si Ryan is an OFW and he's currently investing sa PSE at marami daw siyang natututunan dito. Well, mabuhay po kayo, Ryan. And si Sheena Ricarte naman, connected sa topic natin ngayon, it's certainly challenging to be a parent. But with the help of these resources, children can achieve financial security and financial literacy early. And that's all we are trying to do here at the PSE Market Education, is to promote financial literacy among our fellow Filipinos. So I guess with that, before we end our Q&A segment, I will just request our guest resource speakers this afternoon to maybe give a few words, key takeaways, or maybe some tips to our attendees. Let's start with Kuya John, JT, and then followed by si John Lim. All right.
Siguro sa akin, start early and do the hard work, no? Kasi the biggest advantage you can have in life is to do the hard things. Kasi walang tao ang gustong gawin yung mahirap na bagay. People loves to do shortcuts. People love get rich quick scheme. But if you focus on doing the hard thing, you focus on studying na right now, start your homework na, mag-aral ka talaga mabuti, and start investing today, then it will do wonders sa future mo. Mahirap talaga yung nangyayari sa mundo, no? And how to prepare our retirement, how to prepare our kids. But if we do our best, and then I really feel na God is on our side, and God will help us.
Thank you, Kuya John, for that one. No? I cannot agree with you more. There's no shortcut. Sabi nga nila, you can either choose to do the easy things, easy decisions, and then have a harder life, or choose the difficult decisions first and have an easier life later. Okay, well, thank you, Kuya John. How about you, John Lim? Key takeaways for our participants this afternoon.
My key takeaway is this is really a perfect webinar. That's why when Kuya John came up with the idea, talagang I was really excited, because as I always say, talaga the power of compounding is really when you have a long time horizon. Secondly, perfect talaga yung sinabi ninyong dalawa na there's no shortcuts. Actually, a while ago, diba, I gave an example of if you compound it 8%, if you compound it 10%, the sobrang dramatic ng difference. That's why you have to start early, not only for yourself, but for yung mga beneficiaries nyo. Because the better you get at investing, yung nothing really beats exponential growth. So I'll give an example. If you to crystallize it, if you average 8% per annum for 20 years, mangyayari yung investment mo around 4x. But if you average 10% per year, 10% per year, imagine that's only 2 percentage point higher over 20 years. Actually, that's even 4 times greater yung return mo versus the 8%. Just 2% is magnified so much over time. So it really makes a lot of sense to start investing very early so that you can also become a more proficient investor. So hindi lang yan hindi lang yan purely passive eh. Active rin yan in the sense of you're learning and becoming a better and better investor. But do it early and often because really nothing beats the power of compounding.
Thank you for that one, John Lim. Alam niyo, totoo yung sinasabi ng ating dalawang guest ngayong hapon. All good things take time. You know, to build a good career, it takes time. To build your wealth, it takes time. Everything takes time. Walang shortcuts. And to that point, wala rin tayo dapat paniwalaan ng mga get-rich-quick schemes. So gusto ko lang pong i-remind yung ating mga participants, we have an advisory posted in the PSE website and PSE social media accounts last Friday regarding a scam. Please just be on the lookout on this one. Maraming mga loko-loko na ginagamit ang mga pangalan ng PSE at ang mga reputable financial institutions para makapag-scam. So guys, just be mindful of these things and remember the wise words of our resource speakers, no shortcuts and everything in good time. So yun lang. With that, I would like to thank again Kuya John and John. Bigyan po natin sila ng virtual round of applause. Napakahusay po ng inyong presentation ngayong hapon at sana ma-invite pa po kayo ng PSE in the future. So salamat po muli sa lahat ng nanood ng aming webinar. I hope you had a great time and learned a lot from our speakers. Kung nag-enjoy kayo sa webinar and want to stay updated with the latest stock market news, pwede niyong i-follow ang Philippine Stock Exchange sa aming social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Pwede niyo rin puntahan ang aming PSE Academy website, www.pseacademy.com.ph if you want to gain access to free tools na makakatulong sa inyong pag-aaral tungkol sa stock market. And pagpasyal niyo po sa aming PSE Academy, mag-sign up na rin po kayo so you can have access and be updated to our market education initiatives. All right, you may also send your inquiries and reach out to PSE's Market Education Department via the PSE Academy email address, academy@pse.com.ph. Muli po, thank you for tuning in. Once again, I'm John Garcia. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.